that we get as Brahmin souls. And he's also speaking of specially loved deities. And what is the difference between just being a normal deity and a specially loved deity, right? Baba says that specially loved deities are the ones which are part of the royal family, which are close. As Brahmins, they're close to Baba, close to the family, the Brahmin family. And in the next birth, in Golden Age, they're also close to the royal family. And then Baba goes on to speak about what are the qualities that we can check in ourselves, develop in ourselves to become specially loved deities. It's a beautiful Murli, and it's spread over 2 days. So we will pick up half of the Murli today. This is the revised Murli of 26th December 1978. The specialities of the specially loved deities. Today, Bap Dada was seeing the 4 forms of the dynasties of all the children at the same time. There are 4 forms of dynasties that we get as soon as we become Brahmins. The first, Baba says, each child is part of the dynasty of Shiva. Right? If you see, actually, every soul is part of the dynasty of Shiva. But it's only us Brahmin souls who have the, who have the awareness that we are from the dynasty of Shiva. All the other souls, they don't have that awareness. So first, each child is part of the dynasty of Shiva. Second, part of the dynasty of Brahma, being Brahma Kumar and Brahma Kumari. We automatically are part of the dynasty of Brahma. And this is the luck only Brahmin souls have. Then third, Baba says, part of the dynasty of the deities. And this also is a luck for all the Brahmin souls. All the Brahmin souls are part of the dynasty of Brahma and part of the dynasty of deities. And then Baba says, fourth, part of the dynasty of the special beloved deities. So one is normal deities, which all Brahmin souls are part of the dynasty of. And then special beloved deities. Some of the Brahmin souls who also get to be a part of the dynasty of special beloved deities. So 4 different dynasties. And all very powerful in their own way. Baba says, the form of all 4 dynasties of each child is very clearly in front of Bap Dada. On the path of devotion, you elevated souls in your different forms become the specially loved deities of the devotees. So Baba is explaining what does it mean to be a part of the dynasty of specially beloved deities. Who will love these deities? Why are they called specially beloved deities? So Baba says that in the path of devotion, the elevated souls from within the Brahmin souls will be specially loved by the devotees. So we're all deities. We will all be loved and there would be devotion for all of us, as Baba says. Baba has said that, there are 33 crore different deities who are worshipped from the beginning of Dwapar till the end. But in those as well, the specially beloved deities are the special ones for which the worshippers, the devotees, they have special love. Baba goes on to say, even at this time, your devotees are calling out to you, goddesses, their specially loved deities. You know, in devotion, the specially loved deities are also called mother, right? Or you are my mother and father. Because all the devotees are also part of the dynasty as they feel, not directly, but indirectly. So they call out to us goddesses even at this time, at the end of the Kali Yuga. As the time of revelation is becoming clear and close, so too the dynasties of the deities, that is, the royal family, and the specially loved deities will be clearly revealed. So Baba is saying slowly and steadily, it will be clearly revealed which are the souls which are going to be part of these specially loved deities or the royal family. Actually, we've seen that, right? When we come or when we used to come in front of our dadis, there was a special motherly love that we used to feel, a warmth, right? Even in Sangam, we felt that warmth. And this warmth, this attraction, this special love for our dadis or for the special souls, it goes on in the form of worship from Dwapar Yuga. And that is what Baba talks about when he says the souls which will be specially beloved deities, they would be clearly revealed. Baba says, do you feel that you will become the specially loved deity who will fulfill the desire of your many devotee souls? It's a very big luck to be a specially loved deity. It's a responsibility because you have to fulfill the desires of your many devotee souls, and it's also an effort at the time of Sangam Yuga, confluence age. Because if we make effort at this time, that's when we get worshipped from Dwapar Yuga or Copper Age. Just as souls are number-wise in a royal family, so too you become the specially loved deities who are worthy of worship number-wise. So in that also, there's a ranking, is what Baba is saying. And the most loved deity even today is Krishna. If you see Krishna, many people keep Krishna at home and they treat him like a family member. They call him Thakur, Bal Gopal. And most of the families, they love Krishna because he's on the top of the list, the first rank holder amongst the specially loved deities. And of course, Radha and Krishna both. And then you might have observed the new Ram temple that has come up. So much love for that deity, right? And I was thinking it's Rama, the topmost soul from the Treta Yuga, for whom the devotees have so much of love, right? So many souls were crying when that temple was built. So much of love, affection. They're even ready to die for these specially loved deities. So it's such a big responsibility as well as luck. Baba says, do you know the rosary of your devotees? Out of all those who are your cooperative companions in service, at this time, some become part of the royal family and others become part of the subjects. So whoever in confluence age are cooperative companions, some will be close. That's what Baba calls Varis quality in many of the Murlis, right? So royal family and the others will become subjects. Therefore, those of you who are close and cooperative service companions at this time will become part of the royal family in the future. Two words, close and cooperative. Close means very close to family, very close to Baba. There's a feeling of belongingness to Baba and the family. And cooperative, available, ready to take on whatever service comes, cooperative service companions, not picking and choosing. Right? At this time, those who would be close and cooperative service companions will become part of the royal family in the future. Then, on the path of devotion, they will be worshipped as specially loved deities. So the ones who come in the royal family, in the path of worship from corporate, they will be worshipped as specially loved deities. Special attention, special love, special rituals, special devotees, very disciplined devotees. Everything would be more special than the others. Baba says, the dynasty of the special deities has also been shown. So ask yourself, am I to become part of the royal family and later part of the dynasty who are worshipped as specially loved deities? Underline, that's the point that we need to check today. Am I to become part of the royal family and later part of the dynasty who are worshipped as specially loved deities? What number am I in the list of special deities? Okay, so if I'm going to be, if I feel I'm going to come in that list, what would be my rank? What would be my number in that list? Am I in the early list or am I in the middle of the list or am I towards the end, just about making it? Some special deities are worshipped daily, whereas others are only worshipped sometimes, once a week, once a month, on special occasions, and some are worshipped daily. Baba says, some are worshipped accurately according to the discipline, whereas others are worshipped according to convenience. And see, there is a very, very big correlation. Here, when we do service and when we maintain a discipline in our efforts, right, in our service, in our efforts, in our dharnas, the niyams and the maryadas that Baba has given us, that's the discipline that carries on in our worship as well. And here, if we are doing effort as per convenience, right? When it's possible, I do. When it's not possible, I don't do. I don't push myself. I don't make that special effort to ensure that there is a certain discipline that I follow in this effort making. The same is reciprocated to me during the worship in the corporate. Baba has said this also in one of the Murlis. Baba says, some are constantly worshipped with great pomp and splendor, with many various things, whereas others are only sometimes worshipped with splendor. And sometimes new clothes you'll get. Sometimes you'll get good prasad, which will be distributed in your name, right? Sometimes on special occasion. But if you see the temples of Krishna and now Rama also, they get so much and they maintain such pomp and splendor every day. If you go and look at the arti and so much of ornaments that they have all the time. So Baba says the rosary of devotees of some of the deities is huge across the world. Krishna has devotees across the world. In fact, there's a whole town in Hungary, I've heard, which is based on Hinduism, and it's run by that ISKCON team, which is devotees of Krishna, right? And they were showing how that's a self-sustainable kind of a village. It's a town, a small town, cannot be called a village in Hungary, and they speak Hindi, right? So they're across the world. There's no limit to the devotees. The number is huge. The rosary of devotees, as Baba said, of some of the deities is huge. They have countless number of devotees, whereas others only have a few devotees in one village. In Hindi, they call it Kul Devi, Kul Devta, right? For just a small number of worshippers in a village, they'll worship, not a large number. Others would not even know. Those kind of deities are also there in the worship. So they have countless number of devotees, whereas others have only a few devotees. However, those of the Brahmin dynasty will definitely become part of the royal dynasty. You will definitely become either an important special deity or less important special deity. But all of you will become the special deities of devotion, of the devotees. So that's again a blessing that Baba has given all Brahmin souls. We all will be worshipped in some form or the other. But again, Baba says there is a rank. There it is number wise. And it's depends on our effort, our devotion. We should not call it devotion, but our dedication to Baba in this confluence age. The level of effort that we make here, it's directly correlated. So Baba says, today Bap Dada was seeing all of you in the form of specially loved deities and thinking how greatly worshipped his children are. So always keep your worthy of worship form in front of you. Underline. So today I'll keep my worthy of worship form in front of me, like a mirror. Baba says you must always remember the 8 specialities of those who are to become elevated deities. You remember the 8 powers, so you also have the 8 speciality in order to become the special deities. You know them very well, do you not? You can actually experience those specialities when you look at your images in the memorials. In temples, when we look at the images, Baba says those 8 specialities, you can see them like a mirror in those images. Now, Baba is explaining what are those specialities. The first, the first speciality of specially loved deities is of being constantly merciful. Constantly is the word to be underlined here, not sometime, not to someone, constantly merciful to everyone, no matter how they are. That's what Baba means here. Constantly merciful. Baba says, which type of mercy? That of saving every soul from stumbling and wandering around as a beggar. They would have mercy from each and every, they will have mercy for each and every one. They would have altruistic mercy all the time for everyone. They would not have mercy for some and not for others. They would be merciful in an unlimited way. And because of their merciful thoughts, many souls would be made aware of their spiritual form and destination within a second. So, because of our merciful thoughts, many souls will get to know of their own spiritual form and destination within a second. A beggar would be able to have a glimpse of all treasures from their merciful thoughts, and wandering souls would be able to see very clearly the shores of their destination of liberation and liberation in life, Muktidham and Jivan Muktidham that Baba calls. So imagine a beggar who has been wandering around, lost, and suddenly, because of our merciful thoughts, he gets a glimpse of his destination, which means the wandering has stopped. They would be merciful to this extent all the time. Constantly merciful. Second, specially loved deity souls would always play the parts of removers of sorrow and bestowers of happiness for all souls. Underline. Removers of sorrow and bestowers of happiness. They will be the source of removing someone's sorrow. If somebody is highly sorrowful, comes in your presence, they should automatically feel that my sorrows have got removed and I'm feeling happy for that moment while they are with you. They would not be able to bear anyone's sorrow because they would consider it to be their own sorrow. Empathy. They would constantly have a magic key in the form of a particular method to help souls forget their sorrow and make unhappy souls happy. Any of the dadis, if they pick, especially Janki Dadi, right? Even if some soul with a lot of sorrow would come in front of her, looking at her, observing her, in her presence, they used to forget all their sorrows. Right? So she had that quality which was very, very much visible. Right? That anyone who used to come in front of her used to forget their sorrows and used to become happy just by being in her presence. You don't even talk, just look at her, observe, be in the presence, and you'll feel that. And I'm sure many of us who would have met her would have felt that. And this was with all dadis actually. So, remover of sorrows and bestower of happiness. Third, you would constantly see the personality of purity in their thoughts, words, and deeds. Personality of purity, no waste, pure thoughts, pure actions, pure words, all the time. Personality of purity. Fourth, they would appear very simple and yet very elevated in their nature, sanskars, and behavior. Simple and elevated. Fifth, just as your non living images are always adorned, you too, such souls, will always be seen with the ornaments of virtues. Not a single ornament in the form of a virtue would be missing. So, ornaments of all virtues, adorned with ornaments of virtues in confluence age, and ornaments of gold from copperage. Even at the end of the Kali Yuga or the Iron Age, still, if you go and look at temples of these special deities, they are adorned with a lot of ornaments, all of gold. The features of such specially loved souls would be like a lotus, and they would also make others become as loving and detached as a lotus. Features as a lotus, not part of this world, elevated, special, different. Features as a lotus, being in this world, not part of this world. 7. The stage of such special souls would always be unshakable and immovable. Unshakable and immovable. Just as an idol is established in a temple, so too the stage of these living idols would also be constantly stable. Underline. The stage will be constantly stable, unshakable, unmovable, no matter what happens, no matter what's going on. Inside, I'm unshakable, immovable, and constantly stable. And this, Baba says, this happens when they place your idols in the temples. Once it is placed, it cannot be removed. It is considered to be very inauspicious if an idol is removed from the temple. Same way, it should be inauspicious if our stage is fluctuating. That's why Baba says constantly stable. Like Brahma Baba, Brahma Baba There were so many things that happened. Today we can't even imagine, right? Every day there was some new exam that was going on. But we never saw the way, you know, all the early souls, the foundation souls, they explain. He was always stable, always in that stage, unshakable. Nobody could move him from that stage. Internally, there was so much of effort which was going on. Special effort was going on. So, what is happening outside is not penetrating inside. It's not affecting the stage. It's just a scene that's going on for him. Number 8, their thoughts and words for everyone would always be filled with blessings. Whatever words, whatever thoughts would be filled with some or the other blessings for others. They would even give blessings to those who defame them or complain about them. More blessings for those who defame or complain. It's the most difficult effort that we make in conference age, giving blessings to someone who defames and complains. But this automatically happens when we get onto a soul conscious stage, right? Because the more we become soul conscious, we stop feeling insult, right? Nobody can defame or complain about a soul. They can do that for somebody who's in the body, but not for a soul. So feeling an insult is also, as Baba says, a sign of body consciousness. And this is the effort, giving blessings to all who defame or complain. They would shower flowers of praise on those who defame them. Underline. In return for this, they are worshipped with flowers as specially loved deities to a much, much greater extent. And who would be those souls who will worship? The ones who defamed us, complained about us at this time, and we showered blessings on them. They would be standing first in the queue of worship. That's the law. Baba says, it is common to praise those who praise you. However, to put a garland of praise around those who defame you means to fix them as your devotees for birth after birth. Underline. It is then also guaranteed that they will cooperate with you a lot more than at the present time. So the more you praise such souls, the more devotion they will show later. And the more they will cooperate, even at the present time. Okay, so we will pause here. We will have a minute of silence and then we will do our churning. Okay, would anybody like to share some of their churning?
In today's Murli, Baba has mentioned about 8 qualities of the special deities. And the one which touched me the more is the last one, where he mentions that those who defame you are the one who will be standing first in your uh, list of bhagats. So one access to keep calm and be stable in any kind of situation where I may see people defaming me or might say things which are not very pleasing about me. It's just to accept it and be absolutely calm in that situation. And another next step that Baba says today is, you know, put the garland of uh, blessings on those souls who are defaming me. So this is an access to remain stable in any such situation is the point that for me to practice Om Shanti.
Yes, that's a beautiful statement that Baba made, right? Give blessings to those who are defaming you, who are insulting you, complaining about you. So, what vision should we have when we are looking at such souls? Any thoughts on that? Somebody is complaining, somebody is defaming me in front of me. Very
Visions of
difficult to bless
mercy,
such. Sorry, go ahead.
visions of mercy, um,
How will you
also
get
getting
mercy
present.
when you are getting defamed?
I think the only access is Baba's knowledge,
But
stabilizing
at that
ourselves in the
time,
stage
getting
of,
knowledge also is tough,
yeah,
isn't it?
it, it
Because your
definitely
mind is
is.
occupied with what is happening.
And the only practice is to be aware that each one of us are soul in the journey.
Yeah. So I think everyone needs to, because everyone has a different way of looking at things, the different perception of looking at things. But when something is happening, there should be something that we should link quickly as a thought at that time, which should pull my thoughts away from that defamement and bring something positive at that time, right? Whatever works, there are so many slogans that Baba is giving. For example, what I try to do or look at that soul as a baby, who doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, who doesn't know the true picture. And you cannot explain to babies, they will not understand, but they are very innocent. But they think they know everything, you know. So then you start looking at them as a mother, looking at a baby, and then the blessings automatically come through. You know, just sharing one of the experiences, the one of the you know efforts that I have made, the in the last year, and that they really worked for me. So similarly, we can do other things which works for us, which makes us relate and completely change that thought at that process, at that time.
While you were sharing, few things, one particular thing which is working for me from last 3 months is what I will say is getting present to whatever is happening is benevolent. So
Hmm.
I'll no, I was interacting with one of the other souls and I was telling why it always happens that every 3 months I get into a situation which is conflicting. And
Hmm.
in that discussion, one answer came in was thank Almighty that He is allowing you with the support of the other soul to complete your karmic account. So instead of
Yes.
actually thinking about it, that why is this person behaving with me in a particular way, just say that thank you that you allowed me to complete this particular account. And that particular statement actually is something which I'm practicing from last few weeks. Whatever
Yes.
happens for good.
The soul is here to take her due. That's all. I have to give it to her. And also give an additional interest of blessing.
Yes.
Yes.
Om,
Very
Om
beautiful.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Wow. I wanted to really go to that wow in the Murli, but what you all were discussing really interested me. I always, whenever this comes now, not earlier, I go back to Adidev Brahma, these scenes of defamation. And now it's all the more clear because, there's a new movie which they have shown, the trailer and
Yes.
all. When I see that, the way he faced defamation, the way he faced that, the kind of stance which he took even with the children, and the way these children even they had no defamation. It was my Brahma who had to face the defamation. I just take that as a thing now. But I always,
Yes.
what I feel, I remember one thing which Baba mentions in all his murlis: maintain stability in all situations. Check yourself what caused the defamation. Don't let it shake you. Don't react, because then you cannot. Even in the Gita, it is given. They say be stable, nindastuti, in fame and defamation. If you fly high when you're praised, and then you go deep down when you're defamed. But that stage. So that stage, that's why Baba trains us now. He trains us now that Ninda Stuti stage, which is also one of the qualities when later I become a deity. So many things you may throw on the idol, but
Mm.
the idol doesn't. Like, I remember Buddha often, when somebody went to Buddha and spoke so many things, he was calm. So when they asked him, what was it? He said, oh, I didn't take anything. The gift is still there with you in your hand. I know this sounds very yogic attitude and all, but I take a little from this to see whether I can do. This was just to answer your question, Shivani Ben. If I could just take what I'm taking from the Murli today, because it was a wow Murli. It was really wow, worthy of worship. You know what is one thing I just took from here? Shiv Baba is worshipped only in only one
Mm.
form, incorporeal. But
Mm.
we today, he is glorifying us, we children, to say, see, I'm only worshipped in my incorporeal, but you are worshipped in so many ways. There's so many kinds of worship. That is Father Brahma and I. So I like that one thing. So I was looking at the difference between two words: worthy of worship. There is worthy worship worthy, and worthy of worship. Worship worthy, we are becoming now. To be praised, to be worthy of praise and worthy of worship later, when I become the desired God. So I like the desired God. And if you see in that Path Swarup, very well they explain about, I am a Durga in a temple and I see lines of devotees standing in front of me and I give them sakash. I am Ganesh and I'm sitting over here. I'm merciful one. People are praising me. I am helping everyone to conquer obstacles. I think these are some of the visual qualities of a specially beloved
Mm.
deity I wanted to share. Om Shanti.
Very beautiful. Thank you for sharing, sister. Baba also said in this Murli, right? He said, keep that image of your being a special deity in front of you, right? And when that image is there in front of me, that I am that goddess or I am that God, right? Someone might think it's a big thing to say, but that is what we are becoming, correct? That is what we are learning. That this is our course. We do every day this special group study. We do the main group study, the classroom study, then we do our own homework. What are we doing all that for? To become worship worthy, as you mentioned, so that my end state is worthy of worship as a God. Right? It's a very big journey, but we are on that path. So keep that end state in front of you, and I'm already there. And Baba said it will also guide you on the path, because it will always remain there for you, and you will remember, this is what I'm here for. I don't need to get engaged into the side scenes. I need to reach there. And how much difference is there between that end goal that I need to reach and where I am today? You will be able to see that difference. And that was the Purusharth, or the effort that Brahma Baba made. He always kept his end, Avyakt stage in front of him. That's why I used to send the Sandeshi every time. Go check how much is the difference. Go check how much is the difference between that Baba and this Baba.
Shivani Ben,
Thank
if
you for sharing.
no one else is sharing, can I ask you a query? I just want to know if anyone else is waiting to share, because this is just hitting my mind a lot. If let me just see if anyone else wants to share.
Till anybody else
Just
shares, you can yeah, go ahead, Pichit bhai.
yeah, so the point at which I would like to take it with me is this: Brahmin, Babasena, Brahmin dynasty will definitely become part of the royal dynasty. So each one of the Brahmins will definitely become a deity, that's for sure. But what grade, either an important special deity or a less important special deity? So that will be decided here. Depends on how accurately you follow the course of content. So that is
Correct.
decided in this Sankam Yuga. So it is
Correct.
actually happening right now, it's taking place right now. So we can become our own judge and then see how we will be worshipped as a special deity, important special deity, or less important, accurate, or just for the namesake, every day, or once in a year.
Occasional.
Occasional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Check and change. Check and change. Right? Compare
Right.
where I want to be, where I am, how much distance I need to cover.
And also the number of devotees you want to be a deity who wants to be worshipped by so many devotees, then your service should be accordingly wide. Right.
Yes. You should be close and cooperative in service. The more you are that, the more you'll have the devotee. Baba gave a
Right. Another
correlation.
way, another way, it is you who create your kingdom here at this time, Sangam. And also it is you who create your devotees at this time. It's based on
Yes.
how much cooperative you become in this unlimited service.
Yes. Very true. Thanks for sharing. Yes, Sister Girja, you had a query.
Okay, can I? I like the way the brother explained. I always think, am I a small stone in a people tree where people pass by and just say hello? Or am I like Balaji in a temple adorned with so much gold and all? I was just taking. Further, Baba says in the Murli, constant yoga, constant study, then you'll be constantly. Okay, I know because we are part of the trunk, we are close to the seed, we have qualities. Please, the question which I'm going to ask, do not take it to me that I have that frame of mind. I want to know, when Baba was mentioning about specially loved, see, it's beloved, not even beloved deities. See, I was brought up in a convent. I always loved the role of Jesus. I often found him merciful, loveful, and all these and a kind of benevolence and all. So when Baba was reading the Murli, I just said, Baba, is Jesus also a special deity? Because he's worshipped, just see the number of people who are worshipping. But the only one disqualification which I feel is he was not part of the trunk. But don't you think, Baba, he has also all these qualities? He is also a all these 7 to 8 qualities which you have given, to certain extent it's there. I was just asking him. I just want to know what's your light in it. Please, this is not a question to go away from the Murli. Something which struck me because I was brought up in a convent and I loved Jesus. Om Shanti. If you could share.
Yeah, sure. Anybody wants to pick that?
Um,
Yes.
but isn't it the way different how Jesus is worshipped and how deities are worshipped? Because Jesus is worshipped in a very ordinary form, right? Whereas deities worshipped with all the adorned virtues and in a very royal manner, right? There is always a discipline followed for the
Yeah.
deities.
Yeah.
I mean to say it's different, though they both are worshipped.
Yes.
Deities are worshipped more accurately than the other religious founders or other souls.
Yes. That is also
That's
right.
one.
There's a difference in the way the specially loved deities, as Baba said in the Murli today, they are loved, or they are cared for, or they are treated, considered, and difference in the way Jesus, or for that matter, all the religious fathers, Guru Nanak, Jesus, all these are considered or treated. And one difference that I have seen, because this was my query also, especially in the initial days. But Baba himself has many times he has appreciated these religious gurus, right? Who are special souls. Baba accepts that they are also special souls. After all, they have in the copper age they have come and they have formed religions. That's more difficult actually. Here we have so much support of the family. We have so much support. We are all together in this, right? We are on the journey. We can take cooperation and support from each other. But when that soul had come, right, it had come alone. So there is an effort. And Baba says the law is whoever does effort will get a return in the form of something. But another law is the effort made at the confluence age gives you return multifold. If you make a similar effort in copper age and a similar effort in confluence age, it makes a lot of difference, which is why Baba says you are lucky souls. That is one that I feel. The second that I feel is all these religious gurus who came from the beginning of the copper age, mostly their teachings are worshipped more than them, right? What their teachings were. For example, Jesus always said you should love each other, right? His basis for his teachings was love. Similarly, Guru Nanak's teaching was going back to the light. So their teachings are worshipped. People try to go on the path of what they taught, the disciplines that they brought about. But the special deities, when we talk about them, they never taught anything. Nobody talks about how Ram has given these teachings. No, their characters, their qualities, their specialities are worshipped. They themselves are worshipped. Each of their actions, each of their Baba says your eyes, your hands, the way they are, it's all worshipped. So I find that as a very big difference in the way they are worshipped and the way the specially beloved souls or deities are worshipped. I don't know if that answers your question in some way.
I like that one part which you said, sister. Even Baba looks after these religious souls. See, that's where Baba comes as a universal father. Come what may, whether it's Brahmin children or Dharmatmas or Mahatmas and all, Baba has equal love for all his children. It is only we children have been picked up because we are close to the seed and we have realized Baba as he is, how he is, and love him as he is. I think that's only one quality which makes us, I feel, specially beloved. But I liked when you said Baba knows about them. Only thing
Yes.
what they distorted the messages, and the messages, as you rightly said, the messages were remembered and the person forgotten, the original forgotten. You rightly said their teachings were worshipped and they were glorified afterwards. They were not glorified when they were there as a being doing it. I think that, but still I don't know, when Baba mentioned this thing, I think somewhere today, because last time also it's happened, I had a, doubt. And will you believe, I will not forget that Murli, 26th January and 27th January, Baba brought it in the Murli. So I think I can wait for another 2 or 3 days. It will be somewhere in the Sakar Murli. Thank you, sister. I love
Yes.
that one thing, what you said. Baba loves even them. Thank you, sister.
Yes. He protects them and he loves them. He was the only one protecting them, actually, if you see, when they were alone. Mhm. Okay. I think we are already
Jitna
at
has
6 o'clock.
unmuted herself. Jitna, would you want to share?
Yes, sister. My takeaway. Remember the 8 powers so that you also have 8 powers in order to become the special deities. Oh, Shanti.
Yes, Baba referred to the 8 powers along with the 8 specialities. Very good, Churning. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Just let's take that as the homework, right? Keeping the mirror in front of us of our end goal, being a specially beloved deity, and then compare our actions during the day. Okay. So we'll have 2 minutes of carrying. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Before we close the session, there is an announcement for tomorrow's class. So tomorrow, Dr. Saurabh Bhai shall be conducting a Manthan session on the Murli dated 14th December 1978, which we read on the 1st of Feb on the group. So request each one of us to revise to take the maximum benefit out of the class. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Shivani Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. And we meet tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.